All right, we got a fish on the board, starting off strong. Lukey with a jack. Cold outside.
Little fellow, straight arm this guy. Real straight arm.
We got this virus thing going on. A lot of people have been asking, can we fish right now? What's the deal? Ramps are closed. Well, the one thing they can't take away from us is wade fishing, especially if we're out here doing our distance. We're whoa, I had a little hit there. We're purposely standing more than 10 feet apart.
Yep.
And Cody, our camera guy, thank goodness, has great zoom on the camera, so we are obeying all the rules. And fortunately, our governor, DeSantis, declared that fishing is essential and considered a very, very awesome outdoor exercise activity. So we'd be good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had some jack wagons. Thought it was funny on April Fools to start putting out things that you could get fined $500 if you were caught fishing, and then went viral and people started believing it. Did you see all that, Luke?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, and how many people were like, truly believed it, and then they started telling their friends, oh yeah, I heard someone got a $500 fine. Like, come on, guys. Whoever created it.
Yeah, not
like
good.
Someone took the time. It wasn't just like a meme. Like, there was an official site. And they had like an FWC.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because I looked at it. I asked one guy, I was like, show me where you saw this. And he sent me the link. And it was like breaking news, LPT, like some weird URL. And someone took the time to do it. Yeah. And at the very, very bottom, you see like April Fools. And I was like, goodness gracious. What's wrong with people out there?
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of people have been asking about this wade fishing, and you know, a lot of our videos are in boats and kayaks, and there's a reason for that, is just because wade fishing, it's just that much more important to pick a good spot, and because if you don't, you don't have the luxury as a boat or kayak to go and off to a totally different type of area, unless you have a spot that has a little bit of everything. But the truth of the matter is, you know, if you actually are on the fish, wade fishing is the best way to fish, because the fish have no idea you're there. They can't feel your presence nearly as well. When you do hook a fish, like unlike a kayak, right? When you're reeling it in, you're not getting pushed up to the school. You can just pick one fish off at a time, and just have an absolute blast. So wade fishing is incredibly effective. The fish don't care how you get there, right? It's all about just finding the fish. And so we selected a spot. This would be the same type of spot that I would have picked in the boat. And the only difference is that it just has to be accessible by foot, you know, legally, without trespassing or doing anything. And so we just found a park, and then found an area that has a nice looking grass flat, some depth changes, and that we can actually walk to from the park, like from the parking area. And so that's what we're doing. A cold front just came in, so the water's much colder than I had planned. And so the fish aren't up on the flat, so we're having to kind of wade out and fishing right on the edge. If I was on my boat, you know, this water's cold enough that the cold snap was more extreme than I thought. And I think most of the fish are a little bit further out there, and that would require us to get really wet to go that far. So we're gonna be fishing this trough right here. It gets down from about knee deep down to about 3 to 4 feet. Ideally, it would be 7 to 8 feet given the cold, but we should still at least be able to pick off some fish. So far we just had that jack, and I missed another hit before. Could have been a trout, but the key is just we're going to fish that depth change. Again, we're going to be fishing the exact type of thing that I would fish by boat or by kayak, but we just have to find somewhere that we can actually walk to in this case.
So I'm actually re-rigging right now. I had a 1/4 ounce jig head on with Slam Shady, and I thought it was going to be a little bit deeper. I thought these holes were going to be a little bit deeper, and they weren't. So I'm going 3/16 to get a little bit less weeds and bottom and oysters on. Luke, did you ever do that experiment with wetting the knot or not and tighten it?
Not yet, but it's coming up.
What do you guys think? What we're talking about here is, are you actually supposed to wet the knot? It's like Grandpa always told us to, or Dad always told us to. We've seen a couple videos of people saying you don't do that.
Yeah, because we have a lot of knot videos, and yeah, one of the most commonly mentioned items is, hey, you're supposed to wet down the knot before you cinch it down. And
for those of you guys watching, yes, I am wearing a fanny pack for the first time in my life. It was a gift. The painting was a gift, Todd. Now, this was I had a daddy-daughter dance recently, 80s style, and this was part of my outfit. And I was like, you know what? Times are tough right now. This whole virus thing, we're cutting back, we're trying to save money. Waiter Dave told me I needed a fanny pack. Didn't want to go buy an official one, so I use this thing. It's been sitting in my closet. Look, I'm going to borrow some Slam Shady.
Sure thing.
I am out. And I don't know that Slam Shady is even allowed to sit in a fanny pack.
Nope.
Per the rules. I got to make sure I don't get microphone wet. We've already lost 2 nice mics. And these are $600 a pop. Coming up on you. Whoop. Whoa, is this with the 6-inch rule or 6-foot rule? What's the deal?
Grab one out for me, too.
What pocket?
Big one.
Got any hand sanitizer in here?
Nope.
Cody, you think that's funny, huh? Hope you sanitize that camera. Oh, look at this. That's what I'm talking about there. You might want to zoom in on that. That's what you bring wade fishing?
That's why you don't bring a fanny pack wade fish. You bring an actual backpack.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to put a couple in the fanny pack. Look at the design on that, man. I should wear this more often.
Yeah, and so with wade fishing, you know, the good thing about it is that you just don't need a lot of stuff, right? You just need some wading boots, and I'll do a review. I've been testing out a variety of different wading boots. I've been doing a lot more wade fishing since this ban happened.
Oh.
And you just need some sort of backpack. I wear backpacks or a fanny pack.
Dude, Waiter Dave has a man fanny pack?
Yeah, something to just hold gear. And in most cases, wade fishing, I just take one rod, just because it's easier. But the reason why I like backpacks is that sometimes if I'm going to be out for a long time, I'll take 2 rods. And with a backpack, you actually can rig it so that you can carry an extra rod. You basically just have to like wedge it in the shoulder strap, and I can do a more detailed review later. But you can't. The good thing about backpacks is you can actually store your rod, a second rod with you without having to have anything fancy. But for the most part, I just take one rod. I'm using just one lure, and if I want to change to a different lure of different depth, I just get in the bag, grab the stuff, and make a quick lure change and back in action.
All right, now I got lighter jig head on. I got a tail on my paddle tail. See what happens. Did you catch that, Jack, without the tail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was right on the edge of the grass flat. So we have this big flat, and then there's a trough that goes right down the middle of it, and so we're fishing right on the edge. Again, ideally it would be an extra foot or 2 deep, but we can't access that deeper water, so we're making the best with what we can access.
So here's really the big thing we want to answer. We don't know that this spot is going to produce at all, but at least we're out here on a day that, a lot of people would be stuck inside. And the biggest question we're hearing, especially from people in Texas and parts of Florida and the Carolinas, even Pennsylvania, that ramps are closed, state parks are closed. We're actually right near a state park. It is closed. However, you can still legally pull over on places like causeways and bridges and areas in front of state parks that typically would be places that you could launch a kayak or go for a walk in a public area. And obviously, we're not attorneys and we don't work for the state, but legally they should not be able to take that away from you as long. Oh, dude, you see that, Cody?
That was a dolphin that just hit my line.
You freaked him out.
That is not going to help our fishing. That is not going to help our fishing at all.
This spot is dead, dude.
Oh my gosh. I almost thought I snagged it. I saw it come up a bit ago, and I was like, oh, it's going to come in pretty soon.
Oh, did you see that on camera?
I think I saw it.
So
look, he's way over there already.
Yeah. Oh man. So that's really he's basically burning our entire. So dolphin is it's really the #1 predator on the flats.
Look, I'm seeing some mullet jumper. Let's just keep walking down.
Yeah, we'll keep going. There is a trough right up here, but yeah, dolphin are the #1 predator on the flats. Everything's terrified of them, and they should be, because they're amazingly fast and smart. And when there's a dolphin around, everything's scared. They're not feeding. So that although that was a scared dolphin, I don't know. The fish sensed the the fear in that one, but man, that's not going to help our chain. So our plan was we're going to go down this edge. Since the dolphin just went down the edge, now we're going to have to hope we can get some fish in the shallows.
Well, we're seeing what we want here. Up here, I'm seeing quite a few mullet jump. Let me go back to where I was, because this is important. And this is where we want to make sure no one ruins it for everyone else. Where they will come and stop you or will ruin it for everyone is if you're sitting there with a ton of people. And so stay the distance as long as you're playing by the rules that have been set in your county, city, state, nation, whatever. You should be fine. And we have, minus that, time I had to go grab one lure out of his backpack.
But again, it's not the big problem is that people are partying out on the bars and islands. That's why they shut down a lot of the boat ramps.
Because we went out in the boat last weekend near Boca Grande, and boats right there on that popular sandbar, and some of these boats had 10, 15 people in them. I'm like, come on, guys, you freaking knuckleheads.
Yeah, it's just not smart.
It's stupid.
And so that's what's ruining it for a lot of fishermen. But again, there's still an absolute ton of places you can pull off on the side of the road, on causeways, public land, and get out and just wade fish. Right, get some wading boots, get a rod, get a backpack, not a fanny pack, and you can go out and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's getting a little deeper over here.
Here's where the hole is.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I don't ruin my microphone.
Yep. So this should be, again, if this was just 4 days ago when it was nice and warm, this flat would have had a lot of fish on it.
Hashtag excuses.
Yep.
Oh, I had a little hit there. So is this a deep hole right here?
It's deeper. Yeah, get a cast in there for sure.
Yeah, it looks, I don't know if that little fish got my tail or not. Yep. Dude, that dolphin was awesome.
I thought I snagged it for a second. This is not going to be good.
The tarpon are going to start showing up soon.
Yep.
Tell you, I interviewed Andy Mill yesterday.
Yep.
That dude knows how to catch some tarpon. Jeez. He's telling me about just some of the days they had where, I was like, well, how many did you guys land? Because, he doesn't really count. I mean, everyone still talks about, a jump because it's cool to jump tarpon. Oh, there's a bunch of little small fish over there. But he's like, yeah, we landed 14. It's like, you landed 14 and just 2 people on the fly?
And he doesn't count leader touches too. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, so he basically says, a lot of us, kind of count it as a catch as soon as you touch the leader. And he's like, no, that's what people who can't catch fish say. Like, you gotta be able to feel the tarpon's mouth with your hand. I thought that was hilarious. And then had a good interview on Lunker Dog's podcast. Tell you, man, that guy, old Jeff Maggio, you guys got to listen to his podcast. Run That Dog. He is always so positive, even during the crappy times. And even though he's got like 60 people, have canceled on him for the foreseeable future, he is always so positive and funny. I always like that old Run That Dog. So Luke, let's talk about tides, like ideal times for wade fishing. Are we trying to go out when it's when the water's real low and let it come up to you, the other way around? Or
no, I mean, I don't treat it any differently than the normal fishing. I don't really care so much about the tide. I just want to be some sort of movement, some tidal movement. So whether it's coming in, coming out, going, I don't really care. As far as like this spot, like if this has a lot of mangroves in a big grass flat with mangroves on the edges, at high tide, it's really tough to wade without just getting soaking wet. Ideally, it's a little bit chilly. I don't want to get totally submerged. And so for this spot, if it's, I just choose the spots based on the tide, right, and based on the depth. So in this case, I would only want to fish this at a lower tide because I would just be getting swamped by those mangroves if the tide was higher. But again, if it was high tide, I just choose a different spot and just use spot selection. But as far as the best tide, I just like moving, just like boats, fishing from anything, moving current is generally going to be the best time of the day to fish. And then as it gets warmer, the twilight periods are more and more important. As far as sun coming up and sun going down, that's always going to trigger a strike.
Where you just cast, there's a bunch of little dinky fish over there.
Bunch of little what?
A bunch of little dinks.
Okay.
Man, I might have to put the microphone up a little bit higher here.
Yeah, we might be at the end of the road. It's all pretty deep in front of me. This is looks like it gets deep all the way up to the
Well,
main
if that's
road.
the end of the road, then we might be calling this a early podcast, just going with some tips.
Yeah, and what we'll do is
catching.
we might call this one short. This flat's looking kind of slow, and we could go up and fish the bridge, and we'll do some tips on bridge fishing, and we can just cut out. It'll take us probably 15 minutes to walk over there. So we'll do that, see if we can get some mackerel. There should be some mackerel coming in.
Cool.
Let's do that.
All right, on to the next spot. All right, guys, we are back. We waited around the area. We're now underneath the bridge. We're only gonna make a few casts here. More than anything else, just wanted to kind of show you, if you're watching this, you can see that we're just under a normal bridge. There's free parking. We don't have to pay to park. There's a little spot you can pull over on the side. We're right underneath here. And the other nice thing you can do, just to feel better about yourself, Cody, you can zoom in on my back pocket. That was some plastic I found on the ground back there, and stumbled upon this. Not only is it a Red Bull can, but it's unopened. Is it worth risking, Luke? I don't know.
I don't
I'll have
think
to sanitize the heck out of that thing. That's it, guys. We're just going to make a few casts underneath here, see if there might be just a kind of a easy spot to get a bunch of stuff. Jacks, ladyfish, Spanish mackerel cruising through here, sometimes some snooks. But after that, we're going to probably go to the next little bend and do a little wade fishing. And hopefully there won't be any crazy porpoises.
Yeah,
or dolphin for the science major who wants to correct me. I know there's no porpoise here.
And the strategy for fishing bridges like this, I mean, generally there's going to be stronger currents, and that's when you really need to position yourself properly, right? You want to, if using lures, which we're doing, is you want to cast up current, retrieve with the current. It's a really big deal. Because that's just the natural direction that the fish are all going to be facing. So the predator's going to be looking towards the current.
Whoa, smoke.
And you want to become, and that's where they're expecting their next meal to come from. And so it's really important to do that. And right now we're fishing on the up current side of the bridge because that's the only one we can access. And the down current side is just not accessible. Sometimes they're on the front of the bridge. In many cases they are. Sometimes they're on the back side. You just never really know. It's smart to try a little bit of everything. And right now we're fishing well up above the bridge, looking for mackerel. So a lot of the roaming predators, mackerel, jacks, ladyfish, they'll be like well off the pilings, tarpon as well. Snook, snapper, grouper, I mean, those are going to be the ones where you need to get like right on the piling.
You're going to be holding tight to that structure.
Yeah, they hold tight to structure. We have a crosswind coming, which is making it tough, and I didn't bring my gear for this. But yeah, to get the grouper, snapper, stuff like that, you basically need to get like right on the pilings. And I'm just going to position myself a little bit further down and try to see if we can get one out of there. But the bad news is bridges like this that are just really easily accessible get a lot of fishing pressure. So these fish, they are used to turning down offerings. Live bait is going to definitely be the more likely solution for getting a bunch of strikes. But again, get a jig, and give it a good little motion down there, and that can often fool even a lot of the smartest fish. So we're going to try this for a little bit, and then we're going to go try another type of flat afterwards, just to kind of show that even though we're waiting, we can still try and experiment a variety of different spots. And if we do that enough, we're eventually going to get onto some good fish.
Yep. All right, let's go try that other flat, dude.
Let's do it.
See you at the next spot.
Oh, that was a big shark.
Coming to check you out?
Yeah, it was just cruising. It was more scared of me than anything. Yeah, you just never know what you're going to see out here. You can see that was a big black tip shark.
Something just got my tail right there.
We've seen a lot of, obviously like starfish and stuff. We had that dolphin come up. It's just a lot of fun getting out here in the water. Even on a slow bite like this, we'll find them. They got to be hunkered down in one of these holes out here.
Yeah, so all we did is we just changed sides, and we're now a little bit more on the wind protected side, which is nicer. We can get some longer cast.
And here, oh man, I just missed one. And here we can actually wade out to the very far edge where it actually gets deeper. Right, we had that cold front come through. And there, oh, I just missed another one. We had that cold front come through, and so that just made the flats just a little bit colder than what the fish like, and so they push off in deeper water. And so here on this flat, you know, it's wind protected, which keeps it a little bit warmer, but also we can actually fish the deeper stuff, which is where we're finally starting to get some more action.
You can see, Cody, if you look over my right shoulder, we're right next to a boat ramp. And this one is open right now, but even if it had been closed, oh, Luke's on.
There we are.
Even if it had been closed,
solid trout.
Still do this. All right. Usually,
so they're
where
right.
There's one, there's many.
Yeah, they're right where we thought they would be. And again, this is the same type of spot that we'd be fishing if we were in a boat, right? There's nothing different if you're wade fishing versus boat fishing or kayak fishing. All the same. If the trout season were open, this would definitely be legal.
All right, and you guys are going to get to see another ad. All right, we're out here doing a little wade fishing. Slam Shady baby, doing the job.
This guy was eating. He was ready to take this puppy down.
Yeah, he was. Even when a lot of the ramps are closed, guys, still catch fish. All you need, rod reel, tailless Slam Shady. You want your free pack? Go to slamshady.com. Slamshady.com. Click down below, baby. Pow!
Yeah, so that was the tailless Slam Shady that got the job done. And again, the reason why I went tailless, really two reasons. Number one is that we're fishing deeper, right? This, without the tail, there's less water drag. It dives down faster. The water's nice and clear, so they use a lot of sight right now. And without the tail, it can do a quicker motion, right? Twitch, drop. And a lot of times that quicker motion without the tail will actually get more strikes.
If you guys were listening to the podcast and wondering what the heck I was doing, I actually brought my camera out and was videotaping Luke for a quick little Facebook ad. We're still giving away the Slam Shadies. It is one per person per household. And if you're listening to this, you can go to slamshady.com. I think that shark might be coming back.
Oh, missed another one.
Go to slamshady.com and get your free pack. What we're trying to do is, one, get as many of these out there as we can, get your feedback. This is 2.0. We're trying to always get these lures better. And number three, we're trying to set a world record. I think we're at like 52 or 53 species, and we recently had a few peeps buy them and are taking them and or live in other countries like South Africa. Where was that one, Luke? Like, whoa, that goes a nice hit there.
Puerto Rico is one.
Puerto Rico, that's still kind of U.S. But some other random places. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of species we get. And hopefully we'll be at 60 here before you know it. Yeah, there's definitely some fish out here, man. I got a good pop of that last one.
Yeah, this is the right type of spot. And again, it's just finding the right type of spot based on the trends, right? The same, like we reported this on the last, every week we give a game plan strategy. And this was the strategy on just making sure you go out and catch fish. And lately the trend has been get there on the deeper shelf, near the channels, so basically depth change and structure has been the trend. And so all we did is we just followed that exact guideline and just had to find a spot where we could actually access by foot. And as soon as we got to it, nice trout. I missed something earlier, just like a minute or two before that trout. So fish are here.
And there's so many places from Texas up to Virginia that are just like this.
Oh, absolutely.
And then a lot of people think, oh man, I can't fish there, but you can. I mean, if it's a public area like a bridge or any of these public ramps or even the entrances to parks, because where we were earlier was basically the entrance before you would normally pay to get in the park, which is closed, and you're still legally allowed to park out there, is once again, as long as you're following just normal rules and not doing anything illegal and picking up your trash, they're not really going to stop you. Not much they can say to you. And no, if you missed earlier, there are no fines for fishing. These $500 fines and other obnoxious April Fool's jokes are
yeah,
not
and
real.
as long as you're just being respectful and not just hanging around a big group, right? Like I don't see any reason why, regardless of how bad this gets, why just actually fishing with like 1 or 2 people with the distance between them would be a problem. You know, it's
I'm right behind you too. So.
Yeah, the problem areas has been, you know, the people who are still kind of acting like there's not a problem out there and congregating in big groups. That's been why some boat ramps have closed, because that's the only way they can actually prevent that from happening.
Just basically do what our kids are doing, is not actually talk to anyone and just go places and literally keep your, ooh, something just busted some bait out there.
Yeah, so now that the sun's finally out and the sun's warming up the water, like the bite actually should be turning on. So
and man, this water's moving a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. Yep.
Feeling good. Oh, just missed one.
Right on the edge?
Yeah. Feel like a little trout. Still gotta knock my weed guard off. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, this is fun. Just a good way to get out there and get a little exercise too, you know?
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground. Like a lot of people, most people just go out and they'll just fish that bridge. Like, oop, I just missed something. Had we stayed that bridge, we probably would have caught some fish, but the odds are much higher that you're going to have success if you go out and try a bunch of different spots. And so, you know, we tried a couple different spots. We finally got this last one, and the bite's happening. Fish are still lethargic. We're having to get right on the bottom. I'm just jigging slow bounce on the bottom. They're not coming. They're not chasing our baits down. We just got to get right in their face, and we still, even with tough conditions, we can still get some action. Either way, it's just fun to be out here. Good to get the mind off the craziness out there in the news.
Cool. Well, this has been a good one, dude. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll stay out here a little bit longer, see if we can find something. But yeah, for now, that was the core premise. Just get out there, enjoy the outdoors, be safe, and just think about the trends, the same type of trends, whether you're fishing from shore, by boat, by kayak, or by foot, wading out in the water.
Yep. And as I said earlier, if you haven't claimed your free pack of Slam Shady, slamshady.com, go get them. And then join us in the Insider Club. That guy Travis was a pretty cool testimonial he gave. He's like, yeah, I've been basically enjoying all the Salt Strong stuff for free forever, which is fine. That's why we create it. And he's like, I finally decided to join because I wanted to save 20%. He was buying so many Slam Shadies. Like, I think at one time he got like 30 packs or something. And he's like, I wanted to save the 20%, and now we have everything from rods, reels, cast nets, sunglasses, 20% off pretty much everything, every major tackle brand out there. And so he joined, and the funniest part was, like, man, I had no idea all this stuff was behind the scenes, from literally every week telling you exactly where to go fish, getting on online maps and showing you where to fish, to much of the mastery courses we give out, the finding spots mastery. I mean, we were charging $300 for that at one time, and that's free, and you can't even buy that now just for insiders. So if you're not a member, come join us. And just, I think right now more than any time in our lives, just the importance of a community of people who you can bounce ideas off of and just talk fishing and get your mind off all the other just craziness that's going on around us that we're all having to live through right now. So I hope you join us in there. It's an incredibly positive place. We don't allow cursing. We don't allow belittling or any negativity. We've even taken the word Snook candy completely out of the vernacular just because that was driving people crazy. So yeah, we listen to our members, and we just hit over 13,000 now. It's still growing like crazy, and hope to be at 15,000 before too long. So hope to see you in there. You can learn all about that at saltstrong.com. We be out. Thank you guys for all the love, all the support. Can't do it without you. Peace.
Hey there, it's Joe Simons, one of the co-founders here at Salt Strong, and have you claimed your free pack of these irresistible Slam Shady paddle tail lures? We designed this lure with over 12,000 serious inshore anglers, including many full-time guides, to go out there and catch more redfish, more speckled trout, more snook, more flounder, more inshore saltwater slams. And if you want a free pack to try out a sample yourself, click down below right now. We have one free pack per angler while supplies last. Click down below right now.